Hey, what's up? This is Angry here. For this video, we take a look at a new little collab in the form of Vans and the North Face coming together for a little capsule collection. So some of these things are North Face products with a kind of Vans emblem logo thing, and the other half, which is arguably the more exciting half, are Vans shoes with North Face branding and some of their technical features. So I took the liberty of picking up these Old Schools, probably the most classic Vans silhouette. These came in white, as you can see here, which are the ones that I picked up. There was a yellow version of these, and they also did skate highs in both black and red. So first of all, I'm going to take a little look at the visual aspect of these, and then move on to what exactly did the North Face include, technical features wise, to make these a little bit better than your average Vans. Chances are, if you've been into a shoe shop or browsed for sneakers at any point in your life, then you will have come across this silhouette before. So it really does need no introduction. But what kind of interesting visual things have we got going on with this shoe specifically? Well, you'll notice on the sidewalls here, there's this kind of suede-esque material, which is a little bit nicer than what you might find on your average pair of Vans. The kind of cheaper, normal ones, they tend to be a canvas material, whereas this bit on the side is a little bit more plush. On the back and on the toe cap, there's a different material which is kind of vaguely similar to the Presto utility. You'll also find this material used up along the sides of the laces, and underneath the laces it goes back to a more soft suede type material. Those little waves on the side as well are made of a kind of plasticky type thing. They're a different material to the toe cap and the back. Rounding off this clean looking shoe towards the back is a big North Face stamp, so that everyone knows you've bought something that's a little bit different to your average pair of Vans. This particular colourway is very, very clean looking. You've got that crisp white and black working together here, which I think looks really, really nice. One thing to note though is that the suede material is not actually pure white. It kind of does look white in some of the product photos, but it's really more of a light grey colour, so there is a little bit of contrast between those white toe caps and most of the side panel, which is this slightly grey suede. So that gives it a little bit more of interest compared to your average pair of white Vans, which would be totally white all over. But the thing is with these is that your average pair of Vans costs maybe £55. These retailed much higher at £95, which is a pretty significant difference, to be honest. So I don't think looks are enough to warrant this extra price. So what exactly are Vans and the North Face doing to help justify that? Well, luckily there are quite a few nifty little features in this which do help justify that cost. First of all, you'll notice the outsole on these is much thicker and much more durable than your standard waffle grip Vans. I already mentioned the different material on the toe cap and on the back of the shoe, and in fact compared that material to the Presto utilities, and that is because these sections are very much water resistant. I did a quick test with these to check the water repellency, so I poured a bit of water over the toe cap section, over the suede, and over this part underneath the laces as well, and although it did seem like the water repelled over the toe cap quite nicely, perhaps the suede also has been treated with some kind of water repellent coating, because it seemed like the water beaded off there quite quickly as well, but water does go through in this part here underneath the laces. So it doesn't really offer proper protection from rain, but you will definitely get some kind of resistance. So if you're walking, it's a little bit wet out there, bit of puddle and stuff, then you won't suffer as much in these as in a regular pair of Vans. However, do still be warned, they don't have that water repellency of something like a Presto utility. The differences of these aren't just on the outside. The inside is a lot plusher and a bit thicker than your average pair of Vans, and I found this made a really big difference comfort-wise. I'm not a massive fan of Vans really in terms of comfort at all, but these were significantly more wearable. They just felt a little bit snugger on my feet and a little bit less kind of harsh when wearing them. Another thing that Vans mentioned with this shoe is that there is a heat retaining layer. So basically you've got on the inside this plush material, on the outside you've got the suede and you've got the toe cap, but in between those two layers is what I presume is a kind of foil type thing, and that's going to help insulate your foot a little bit better. So these will be warmer than your average pair of Vans, and indeed when I was wearing these around the house they did definitely feel quite warm. I have to admit that when these were announced and when I ordered them, I was actually expecting to not really like them. Just based on my experience with previous Vans, I don't wear them that much because I don't find them very comfortable. However, I really was pleasantly surprised with these. They feel much more comfortable to wear. They're still not on par with a lot of the other things that I've reviewed on this channel, and I'd say they're probably not quite as comfortable as a Presto utility. However, they're definitely much better than an average pair of Vans. So if you've been burned by Vans before, but you want to give them another go, then this is exactly the kind of thing that you could perhaps consider jumping in with. I also like that they've actually included some technology to elevate this shoe over and above your average pair of Vans. They could have easily just stuck a North Face logo on the back and called it a day. However, as I say, they've got that extra comfort, they've got that foil layer for warmth, you've got these little water resistant sections. Okay, in practice, perhaps these aren't as useful as they could be because water does still come in. I think it's going to give you better protection than a normal pair of Vans, and I feel like your average Vans wearer is probably going to appreciate having that little bit extra than just no water resistance at all. Although I'm not wild on the North Face logo being on the back and being quite prominent and quite large, I don't think it's a bad inclusion, and it certainly works well with this colorway, which is very sort of clean and quite crisp looking. It's nice to have another bit of contrast sitting there on the back too. So I'm not too mad about that one. So is it worth it? Is it worth spending that extra money to get a North Face pair of Vans over a regular pair of Vans? You got them both next to each other, which ones are you going to buy? If it was me personally, I would go for the North Face ones because, as I say, that comfort definitely does make a big difference to me. I'm going to be more likely to wear these than I would a normal pair of Vans. And I do think there's value in the durable sole, the extra warmth, that waterproofing. Maybe it's not in practice going to be that effective, but at least it'll give you something. But your mileage may vary a bit on this one. If you don't find regular Vans that uncomfortable and you're perfectly happy wearing them, and you don't really think that it gets cold enough where you live, or your feet just don't really feel the cold as much, then you're probably not going to benefit from the North Face ones that much. And I probably wouldn't spend the extra money. How do these old schools specifically though fit into tech wear? Well, I think with an all black fit, these are probably a little bit too garish to work them in there. They really are quite white. There's a lot of white on them, as you can see, with little black accents. So I think if you're wearing sort of like full tech ninja gear and then you have these, I think they're going to stand out a little bit. However, if you've got something on your upper half which is white, you go like white jacket, black cargos, and then these, I think that could be quite a nice little colour block sort of thing. I think mixing black and white in the rest of your outfit is definitely the way to go with these. And because they are Vans, I think you have a lot of flexibility with other sorts of things you can wear. You can get away with quite like tech ninja type things, but also these are going to be fine in a much more casual look. They're not going to look out of place like, for example, a Presto utility or the acronym Prestos would. My main criticism of these though, apart from the waterproofing perhaps not being as effective as it could be, is what they didn't do. For example, why did they not make a black version of the old school? That would be perfect, look much better and be even more flexible in kind of tech wear and general wearing fits. And why did they not make a slip-on at all? A slip-on version of these with that waterproof material all the way over, that would just be perfect. You can even do something weird with the North Face logo and like have it stretched over both the shoes and do it like tonal or something. That would be really, really cool. So I'm a bit upset that they didn't do that. However, I do still think that this is a cool collab. And that's all I really have to say about those. Once I got them in hand and tried them on and stuff, my opinion of them definitely became more positive, and I would be more likely to recommend them, I think, having actually owned these for a little bit of time. But do let me know what you think about them. If you like this look, if you think the features and the functionality are worth that extra cost, or whether you think, don't waste your money, just get a cheap pair, and then, you know, if they get wet or whatever, just wear them anyway and then replace them when they wear out. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think about these ones. I know they're not the most tech ninja-y shoe in the world, but they do still have some cool features and cool performance that I think is worth talking about. And in general, they're quite an interesting little release. As always, of course, if you did enjoy the video, do remember to give it a little like. I super appreciate it. And that's everything. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Shout out to Versace James, who gave loads of information about cav sizing on the last video. He clearly has a lot more experience with the brand than I do. He owns over 30 pieces, he said. So definitely take his advice, especially if you're buying older cav stuff, because it seems like the sizing does vary from year to year. And shout out to Alexis for mentioning the rather wordy Nike Air Footscape Mid-Utility DM. If they come out at a UK retailer, I'm definitely going to pick some up because they look super cool. Definitely worth a review and worth talking about, I think. And in fact, shout out to everyone who's commented recently. There's been like a little bit of discussion and people talking back and forth amongst themselves in the comments, which I think is really nice to see. It's cool that you guys are keen to get involved and like talk about all this techwear stuff, because I'm really interested in it, and I'm glad, of course, that you guys are as well. Enough of sentimentality, and let's talk about some business. If you want to watch some more videos, those of course will be going up there. And if you haven't subscribed yet, but you've got all the way to the end of this video, you evidently liked it at least a little bit, so maybe you should subscribe. All you have to do is hit that button. It's super easy, and then it's done. And then when I come out with new videos next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, then of course you will be one of the first people to see it.